Hello, learners, and welcome to MOOC's Introduction to Sociology 2. Now we will be discussing about branches of interpretive sociology. Well, in this module, we will try to develop an understanding about the various branches of interpretive sociology, which includes symbolic interactionism, under which we have the contributions of George Herbert Mead and the contributions of Herbert Blumer. Then we have dramaturgy, phenomenology, and ethnomethodology. Now, what is symbolic interactionism? Symbolic interaction perspective is a social theory that seeks to understand relationship of human beings with their society by focusing on the symbols that help us give meaning to the experiences in our life. When we interact in a social milieu, we are having some kind of interaction with or we are developing some kind of relationship with the human beings within the society. Now, when we are developing these relationship or when we are interacting with the human being, we are focusing on some symbols. Like why a person reacted on when a person reacts to a particular event. So that is a symbol. That is a significance. Why the kind of reaction that person has, that has some meaning. So that has some symbol or that has something to convey. That relation, that activity, the social action that is taken up by that human being has some meaning to convey, or it has some symbol. It deals with social interactions and people assigns meanings to things around them based on interpretation of their interactions with others. So it deals with the social interaction and the kind of meaning the person in particular assigns to that the interaction. The symbolic interactionist perspective is based on the notion that people make sense of their social world through communication and social interaction, the exchange of meaning through symbols and languages. When we say symbolic interaction, it includes both the symbols and the language that we take up. The kind of communication, you see, we have you can make some kind of a some body language to convey something. You can say, or you can wave. You can be mum, you can be silent, and you can just wave. That means that you are waving somebody and you are saying bye to the person. Or you can just fold your hand, and that is namaste. That is a symbol. In an Indian scenario, when we do this, that might be namaste for the people who are staying in north, or this can be vanakkam for the people who are staying in the southern part of India. So everything, whatever we do, it has meaning, and what the person and each and every person have their own way of interpreting these body languages, these symbols, or the language that we are using. Symbolic interactionists, they argued that the meaning that we assign to the world around us depends on our interaction with people, their ideas, and the various events. We have our own way of looking into the world. A person from different geographical area, people from different geographical area will have their own way of looking into things. Somebody from the coastal area, they have their own lifestyle. While a person who is living in hilly area, they have their own problems, their own challenges, and they look life according to that, according to their social situation. Our society is socially constructed by the meaning we attach to social interactions and events. That is, the way we interact with our society is based on what we learn from our interactions with others. Therefore, the kind of meaning that we attach to these social actions will depend from person to person. It is unique because every individual is unique. As we have already discussed, that since we all have our different sociological background, we have a different pattern of socialization, we have a different personality traits. Therefore, based on all these, we assign or we attach different meaning to our ideas and events. People in society understand their social environment through communication. They exchange their thoughts through language and symbols. Thus, symbolic interactionism plays important role in understanding individuals' point of view and how they make sense of the world from their own perspective. We try to communicate with people by using some kind of symbols or some language. It might happen that, I have a different way of, communicating in a particular situation. But a person, my friend might have a different way of communicating in that particular situation. But the situation may be same, but the way of communication between us, between me and my friend, will be different. So it is again because we are individuals, and how we interact with our social environment will depend on our perspective. Now, as I was saying that under symbolic interactionism, we will be discussing the contribution of two sociologists. To begin with, I will first talk about the contribution of George Herbert Mead. Well, he was a professor of philosophy, and basically he was the founder of symbolic interaction theory. He argued that people develop their self-image through interactions with other people. You see, I might have a notion, or I am the best person to know what I want or what I like, because I have a self. But when I interact with people, when I talk to somebody, I also try to understand that what people are thinking about me. You see, because that is very meaningful, because unless and until I understand or I try to know what people are thinking about me, I cannot act or I cannot prepare myself to be a part of a social milieu. So that I can adjust better in a particular given situation. Therefore, it becomes important for me to understand what people are thinking about me. It might happen that suppose I visit some place, or I go for some meeting, and I give a presentation. I am trying to give my best, but it might happen people who are listening to me, they might raise certain questions. According to them, I might have not given my best. They would feel that something more could have gone into my presentation. So that will help me to understand or to improve in my in the future presentation. So therefore, these criticism, or say called even appreciation, not only criticism, the appreciation. If somebody pats you and says that you have done a great job, that will basically raise your morale. That will boost up your morale, and you will do even better, or you will try to do even better in your future. The self is a part of someone's personality involving self-awareness and self-image, which originates in social experiences. And this self, it plays an important part in developing or in forming the personality of somebody. And this also helps us to become self-aware, to become self-determined also. Because these notions of, or these few words of you did very well or you could have done better. So these things help us to, to act in a better manner in our future. Therefore, these social experiences really help us to develop our self, or our personality, and our self-awareness is developed in this manner. Next, we come to the contribution of Bloomer. Bloomer also was a very important sociologist who contributed in developing the symbolic interactionism theory. And he basically gave 3 important premises in this particular aspect. He said, humans act towards people or things based on the meanings they assign to people or things. The meanings we assign to people and things arise from our social interaction with one another. Bloomer further argued that meaning isn't inherent in objects but formed through social interaction. And humans internally interpret their interactions with the world. Suppose you come across with a person who is a stranger. Okay, who is a stranger? You have not met that person before. So, at the back of the mind, you have this notion, or you know that this person I have not met this person before. So he is or she is a stranger. So this is what you assign. You assign this word stranger to that particular person because you have not met the person before. So your way of interacting with a person who is a stranger it will be different from a person you already know. In the same context, if you meet somebody or you meet your old friend, your reaction towards your old friend will be overwhelming. You will be happy to see the person. You will shake hands with your friends. And you will talk a lot about your olden days. But on the contrary, while talking to a stranger, you will have a different way of communication. So this is how you communicate, or this is how you interact with people. And you assign different designations, or you assign different meaning to these interactions. For example, your activities that you will carry out in a school or in a college or any educational institution will be certainly different from your home, which is a cozy place. So, kind of activities that you will carry out with your parents or with somebody who is very near to you, you cannot expect to carry out the same kind of behavior when you go in an education institution, because there you have your teachers, you have your professors. So your mode of communication, your way of talking, it will change. Therefore, these interaction processes depends on the kind of meaning that you attach or that you assign to the social events. Now we come to dramaturgy. Dramaturgy is developed by American sociologist Erving Goffman, in his seminal in 1959, in his text, The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. It says we try to play various roles in our life. People present themselves to others based on cultural values, norms, and expectations. Here, Goffman, he tries to say that we are also social actors. That is, life is like a stage, and we are the actors of this stage. We try to portray ourselves in different manner based, according to the situation. So based on different situations, we try to act in that manner so that it is favorable and it is well acceptable by the people with whom we are interacting. For example, in a court, the legal lawyers or the lawyers, they have their own way of acting. Teachers in a school or college, they have their own way of carrying out their activities. But when these lawyers or teachers, they come back to their home, they have their own way of acting. So they play different roles. So according to the roles we play, we are changing our course of action. Thus, this tries to explain us that we try to act according to the environment or the situation in which we are, and also according to the norms or the cultural expectations of the society. Most of the time, people seek to meet society's expectations, but the dramatological frame applies even in cases of rebellion. If an individual wishes to convey that she or he does not agree or identify with social norms, she or he must use a commonly legible system of symbols in order to communicate that information. At times, it might also happen that we don't really say yes to something, or we are not happy with with some situation. In that case, what we will do? We will rebel. We will protest. We will protest against the activity to which we are not nodding, or we are not giving a sanction to it, or we are not happy with the situation. For example, say youth unrest. Why does youth unrest happen? Because they are protesting against the social situation. They are protesting against the existing system. Here also, they are playing a role of the rebellions. So, based on the situation, we try to portray ourselves, or we try to carry out our social action. It might be rebellious in nature, or it might be according to the cultural pattern, or according to the norms and expectations of the society. Now, when we deviate from these norms, then this gives rise to some kind of a conflicting situation, and this leads to social deviance. However, if we try to act according to the expectation of the society, then there will be a peaceful situation in the society. So that is dramaturgy, that how we interact according to the societal, what is the reaction, or how we react to a particular societal reaction. So that is also the case that, we keep on changing our roles. We keep on changing, the role keep on changing according to the situation. Now, phenomenology. Phenomenology is a methodology of philosophical research. It was initiated in 1900 by Edmund Husserl, and literally, phenomenology is a study of phenomena, appearance of things or things as they appear in our experiences, or the way we experience things, Thus, the meaning that we have as a product of our experiences. Phenomenology studies conscious experiences as experienced from the subjective or first person point of views. Experience includes not only relatively passive experiences, as in vision or hearing, but also active experiences, as in walking or hammering a nail or kicking a ball. Phenomenology studies the structure of various types of experiences, ranging from perception, thoughts, memory, imagination, emotion, desire, and volition to bodily awareness, embodied actions, and social activities, including linguistic activities. So, phenomenology basically it tries to understand the experiences of the person, and these experiences are not the passive experiences. It is the experiences from the perspective of the first person points of view. Not others have. Phenomenology is something in which we not only try to investigate the experiences of others, but also what is more important in this particular context is understanding the perspectives or experiences of the first person. It might happen that I might share examples of others. That is not phenomenology. What I have experienced in a particular social milieu, that is important, and that is what is phenomenology. At last, we will come to ethnomethodology. It was developed during the mid-1950s by Harold Garfinkel, who sought to formulate a more interpretive sociology which focused on the method that people engage to uphold their everyday sense of identity, action, and continuity between individual and society, which Harold termed as ethnomethodology. Ethnomethodology makes an effort to capture the real lived experiences of the members within the society and favors the direct observation of people, especially focusing on micro-interaction. Ethnomethodology is a mode of inquiry devoted to studying the practical methods of common sense reasoning used by the members of the society in the conduct of everyday life. Garfinkel maintained that the role of the field worker is to understand the processes through which observable and reportable reality are organized, produced, and managed by individuals. Garfinkel developed the breaching experiments, in which the social reality of an individual is temporarily disrupted and observed in order to reveal their underlying assumptions, beliefs, and understanding. So, ethnomethodology is again a kind of or a method by which we investigate the experiences of the individuals, which is somewhat like phenomenology, but here the investigation is even more deeper, and we try to also find out what or how a person would have reacted in a manner if he was or she was asked to act in a different way. Suppose a student who is supposed to act like a student in a class is asked to act like somebody else's in a classroom setting. Then the kind of activity that person will or the student will perform in the class, that will be lead to the disruption or violation of the classroom norms. So then what will be the experiences of others? That is also the point of research that the ethnomethodologists wanted to make. So here it is important to observe and report the ground reality and also understand how a person would react or how the person could have reacted in a particular manner in a situation other than he is expected to be. So these were the branches of interpretive sociology. Further readings will help you to develop a better understanding about the entire subject. I wish you a very happy learning experiences. Thank you so much.